Hello, this is a quick session showing you how to connect to a computer called ShellServe and then run some code on that machine using psql. So I'm connected to ShellServe by typing SSH and then my username at shellserve.dcs.abba.ac.uk. Now I'm typing my password and it's my ABBA password, sometimes called my email password. When that password is accepted, you get the welcome to ShellServe message, which is what you can see there. I just moved this yellow circle out the way. That's just the mouse pointer. Now I'm in ShellServe, what I can do is connect using psql, which is a different program, to the database server. And in order to do this, what I type is psql -h db.dcs.abba.ac.uk minus capital U and then my username, and then -d for database, and then I give it the database I want to connect to, which in this case is CSM 3120 _25 _26 _HMD1, which is my username. I'm going to press enter and it's going to ask for a password, and the password it's asking for now is my database password. Because I'm connecting to db.dcs.abba.ac.uk, that's the database server which needs the database password. All the other passwords you use will be the same. This is the one that you've set specially for databases. Once I type it, I'm in, and that's good. Now I'm into the database server, and I'm now running a program called psql, and it's running on the Linux box that we're connected to, that is ShellServe, and it says that it's encrypted, and I can type help for help. So let's start off by typing help. What does that tell us? I'm going to put a semicolon on the end because psql loves semicolons, and it tells you what kinds of things you can ask for help on. So I could do \h for help with SQL, and that tells me all of the different things that I could ask for help with. So how about -h create table? That tells me that the create table command would define a new table, create, and then it tells you the options that might apply to that, and so on. I'm going to press Q because actually I don't need to do that. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a table, and this is the description that you were given in Practical 1 with a list of commands that you should type. So I'm going to type, first off, I'm going to type create table pants contents varchar. I should be using capitals because SQL, traditionally we use capitals, but honestly it's not fussy. I'm going to put semicolon at the end because psql loves semicolons, and I'm going to press enter. And it says create table. That's good. That means that we've created a table. This is the response to the command that I have just typed. So if we do \d now, that describes the relations that are in our database, and you can see we've got, in my database, there's a table called pants, which is owned by me. So we created a table called pants, and it's owned by me. Okay? And now what we could do is maybe we could put something into that table. So I'm going to go insert into pants values left leg, and I put a semicolon because psql loves semicolons, and it says insert 01. That's just what it says when it's successful. So if we do select star from pants, we're selecting everything that's in the table pants, and that just gives you the contents, which is left leg. So we've got a table called pants, it's got one attribute, which is contents, and we've inserted into that left leg. What I can do now is I'm going to press the up arrow. The up arrow is really useful if you're in a command line situation, because what it does is it just gives you the previous command. So press it once, I get select star from pants. I press it twice, I get the insert. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the left arrow, and that's going to let me change that to right, and then I can insert that in. I get that, and I could do select star from pants again just by doing up arrow, and we get contents is left leg, right leg. That's great, we've got some contents in our pants. Marvellous. Now if I do \d, same thing, one table, one relation, called pants. There we are. I'm just going to show you a couple of things, which is what happens if you make a mistake. So I'm going to try inserting into the pants a value, maybe we'll call it another right leg, and what I've done is I'm not going to have the semicolon. And what happens there is kind of interesting, because what happens there is nothing. We don't get what we're expecting, which is the insert 0, 1. What we get is a kind of change. So this bit here at the bottom, where it's suggesting what, it's describing the database, and we've got like a prompt here, and that is saying it's not finished. So when it changes from equals arrow to minus arrow, what it's saying is something's not finished. And if you put a semicolon in, it will finish it, and it will give you the insert thing that you wanted to have at the beginning. And that's kind of useful. So if you ever see the prompt go strange in Postgres, that's what's happening in psql. What's happening is it's expecting something and it hasn't seen it yet. So what happens if instead of missing just the semicolon, we go all the way back and miss out of quotes and the closing brackets? What it does is it changes, and instead of being an equals, which is I'm ready for the next command, or a minus, which is I think I've got something but it's not finished, it gives you a quote. So it's expecting a quote, so we'll give it what it expects. And now it's saying, alright, so I've opened a bracket and I haven't closed a bracket, so I'll close the bracket, and then it says, oh, but I haven't got the semicolon. So then you give it the semicolon, and then you're back to it being finished. Now if we do select star from pants, I just move my mouse pointer out of the way. What have we got? We've got the things that we were expecting, plus another right leg with a plus character. So you can see kind of what's going on there. The command line psql, it's a bit fussy, it's a bit pernickety, but it's also quite useful because it does have that trick where it shows you a different prompt ending if it's expecting to get a closing quote or a closing bracket or a semicolon. That's probably enough for now. I want this to be a short video and we're nearly at 10 minutes, so I'm going to say drop table pants semicolon, and it says drop table, and now if we do \d to see what's there, it says I did not find any relations. And now to get out of Postgres, this is a top tip as well, because sometimes you could get stuck in Postgres for psql for ages. You do \q and that quits, and now I'm back on shell serve. And then to get out of shell serve, I'm going to do exit, and that quits that, and then I'm done.